Have you ever felt like you're slowly losing yourself in a relationship? Not because of shouting or physical abuse, but something quieter, something more insidious. She says she loves you, but you feel empty. You give your best, but somehow it's never enough. You're slowly becoming a shadow of the man you used to be. What if I told you this isn't love? What if I told you that staying with her is not only destroying your peace, but killing your potential as a man? Before we dive in, if you're serious about mastering your emotions, becoming stronger through philosophy, and building unshakable self-respect, subscribe to the channel and like this video. You don't want to miss what's coming, because what I'm about to tell you could change your entire love life. Watch till the very end. Let me tell you a story. Chapter 1, the beginning of the fall. Could you tell me about the first time you experienced love? Put your eyes closed for a brief moment. Shoulder the burden once more. Did she flash a smile? Remember how she cracked up at your wacky jokes? Alternatively, her enthusiasm for the future was palpable. It hit you like a ton of bricks. It should feel like this when you're in love. Maybe just like Marcus, you felt like you could finally unleash your full potential. That person was Marcus, cool under pressure, determined and steady. Even though he wasn't in an urgent need of love, something changed in him the moment Elena entered the room. Like a gorgeous storm, she slammed into his life rather than merely entering it. The world was electrified once more because of her. She seemed to be the one thing he had been looking for. Her presence was palpable, the conversations riveting and the texts continuous. Were you ever a visitor? When a person becomes more than simply a companion, they become your entire universe. Nothing else matters. People, interests, aspirations, etc., even if it's your voice. Heroism has taken center stage. Yes, such is the case with Marcus. His timetable was immediately altered. Plans for cancellation, leaving behind the things that brought him joy in life. The hitch is that at first it didn't seem like a sacrifice. Love was the feeling. For the simple reason that we always tell ourselves that to love is to compromise. Effort is love. To love is to prioritize her. What happens though when prioritizing her begins to eat away at you? Beginnings were modest. She wanted to know his destination. His texting partner became an object of her suspicions. Gradually, she started to change his life, his habits, his decisions, and even his thoughts. Marcus, like with the majority of us, failed to see it. Feeling like a decent guy, he carried on. Someone who loves. A powerful man. But listen, my friend, being submissive is not the same as being in love. I have a question for you. Have you ever experienced a gradual drowning? Like you're technically alive, but that's about all. What if the sacrifices you make for love outweigh the benefits you reap? Perhaps she ended your relationship, and the good morning texts have stopped coming. Perhaps you're still seeing her, but you have a sneaking suspicion that something is off. Perhaps she has already left, leaving you to rummage through previous texts as you try to figure out where you went wrong. Being in the midst of a heartbreak may be excruciating, but the reality is that when we grieve, it's not only about the deceased, it's also about the part of ourselves that we sacrificed for them. Initially, Marcus failed to see it. Maybe you're the same way. However, Marcus isn't the only character in this novel. The focus is on you. Furthermore, the consequences that follow when a man surrenders his identity to love. Though rest assured, do not feel alone. This is only the beginning. Persist with me till the very finish. Why? Because I'm about to reveal to you the secret that Marcus used to transform his grief into strength, and you can do the same. The object of love should not be your downfall. It is meant to grow you. And if it fails to accomplish that, then perhaps though love was never the initial motivation. Chapter 2, the Stoic Mirror. Remaining calm and observant is a key tenet of Stoicism. To aim for understanding, not bewilderment. While a true guy doesn't shy away from confrontation, he also doesn't stand for disrespect. So it's clear if your wife acts in this way, ditch her. Without animosity, avoid taking vengeance. However, honorably. Why? Because staying puts one in a slow death. Now we can dissect them individually. 1. Her use of guilt to control you. Flee from her immediately. If she portrays you as the antagonist, whenever you assert your boundaries, she made Marcus feel disloyal for hanging out with his pals. So he cut ties with them. Her comment, "You care more about weights than me," led him to skip his gym session. She would sob and insist, "I simply want to be with you." So he stopped going on weekend business trips. "I adore you, yet I'm guilty." Control is guilt. She clearly doesn't Value your independence if she manipulates you by making you feel guilty. A Stoic guy is someone who cherishes his work, his solitude, and his leisure. A lady has no business being at your side if she can't back it up. 2, she doesn't back you but competes with you. Your happiness should be felt as her happiness when you're in a good relationship. However, you should use caution if your partner views your victories as threats. Elena criticized Marcus's promotion, saying, "So now you think you're better than me?" Instead of congratulating him, she told him, "All you care about is money." When he started a side company, she felt responsible for his every move. Your spouse isn't a partner. If she can't enjoy your success as an individual, envy is inappropriate in a committed relationship, according to Stoicism. Honor your tranquility. Her envy weighs her down, not you. See, the way she openly disregards you, opinions differ. However, when she publicly ridicules you, disregards your thoughts, or employs sarcasm to embarrass you, she's publicly demonstrating her lack of regard for you. "Marcus?" Elena asked at a dinner gathering. "Oh, please." He lacks the maturity to make tough choices. The whole group burst out laughing. Marcus smiled contortuously. On the inside, a crack appeared. The Stoic does not seek approval from people, but instead insists on being respected. She doesn't consider you a leader if she constantly makes fun of you. In her eyes, you are frail, and you will become that in due time. You shouldn't trust her with your personal safety, if she can't even defend you in a public setting. For crucifying you with her ultimatums, "I am done with you if you do not move in with me. We are finished if you speak to her again. It will be over if we are not married by next year." Rather than being constructive limits, these actions are power plays. A Stoic guy takes threats into consideration, yet he never gives in. In order to force you to make a decision based on fear, ultimatums are used. After giving in to only one, Marcus caved. Every time, Elena's regard for him diminished. In actual life, a lady talks. An unhealthy one controls others. 5, as a form of punishment, she withholds adoration. Love is for life, not a fad. Compliance is not a sufficient criterion to obtain it. Unfortunately, Elena had regulations. Miss her point of view? Lack of closeness. Ignore a little point? No intervention. Too much time elapsed between comments. Avoiding eye contact. The value of affection increased. Meanwhile, Marcus was paying the ultimate price. Eros, apart from logos, is anarchy, as Stoicism teaches us. Irrational love leads to insanity. Acquaintance should not be seen as a kind of reinforcement, but rather as an expression of true bonding. She isn't loving you if she uses your affection as a weapon. She manipulates you. 6, she isn't responsible. Pay close attention. This one will show you everything. What if she never says sorry? If you continually take the blame? If she ascribes her actions to past trauma yet refuses to alter her ways? Decide to depart. After Elena insulted him in front of their friends, Marcus gently pointed it out. What was her response? Your sensitivity is an issue. Get a thick skin. There is no need to apologize. Absence of ownership. Deflection alone. A Stoic is someone who owns up to their words and deeds. He also anticipates being reciprocated. Integrity is the bedrock of a good character. Trust cannot exist in its absence. 7. Your mission is sabotaged by her. Your mission is paramount. It doesn't make her queen if she takes your mind off of it. The idea for Marcus's podcast came from a desire to encourage young males. Your lack of curiosity warrants that, Elena remarked while laughing. The final straw was that. There is no such thing as a Stoic who lets a lady or man get in the way of his vocation. Alignment, not distraction, is the essence of love. Your wife doesn't believe in you if she makes fun of your dreams. Furthermore, she is not a part of your future if she does not believe in you. Chapter 3. The Breaking Point. Have you ever experienced the most excruciating agony while sitting in total stillness? Nothing like a scream-inducing agony. However, the one that feels like a heavy stone pressing against your chest. The type that makes everything feel heavy. A lot of work goes into even breathing. Who was that, Marcus? What time was it? 2:13 in the morning. Dimness pervaded the flat. Come here quietly. A single street lamp shone through the window, providing the sole illumination. Just hours earlier, following yet another quarrel, this time over Marcus's request for a single weekend to concentrate on his dream project, Elena rushed out, one only. That, however, was not the true rationale, was it? That was during the era of dominance, the psychological coercion, the way he insisted on reducing his size. keeping his mouth shut and telling himself things like, "If I love her harder, maybe she'll love me better." Does that ring a bell? It was pitch black. Have you ever sat there with a phone in it, fixated on the screen, rereading previous messages, bringing back the pleasant memories because, after all, pleasant memories usually fool us? She used to say you were her world, and you'll never forget the expression of pure joy on her face whenever she caught sight of you. She would crouch down and whisper, "Please, never abandon me." However, she has departed at this point. Maybe it's even worse, she's not gone, but you're completely alone. How did things get to this point? Marcus sat there perplexed. How could a man who was proud of his accomplishments and had clear boundaries wind up apologizing for his dreams, explaining why he breathes and pleading for attention? It was a harsh but straightforward answer. He was oblivious to reality because of romance. Maybe it has also obliterated your vision. How can one ever let go of someone who is intimately familiar with their weaknesses? When a woman makes you feel like the only guy in the world, but then makes you feel like you're never enough, how can you go on? This is painful. Oh my, it's very painful. But hear me out, sibling. Experiencing this is not a sign of weakness. Nobody is perfect. Your soul was sacrificed. You let your spirit shine. Plus, as it crumbled, you were left with incoherent fragments. Marcus did not weep. No, weeks ago he stopped crying. Yet his spirit? It was drained. He refrained from texting her that evening. He made no demands. He remained calm. Without moving, he remained seated. Also, after avoiding it for a long period, he finally questioned himself. Could it be that she was always the wrong choice? Maybe I was simply afraid of being alone. Give it another read. For sometimes it's the sensation, not the person that we want for, the ease, the deception, the mental vision we created. She is not mourned by us. We lament the future that we had envisioned. In the end, Marcus had to tell himself. A lack of romantic interest consumed him. He was engrossed. He had a routine. No, he was denying it. He crumbled under the weight of that reality. When we awaken, not when we are weak, due to discomfort, anguish opens the path. The illusions are consumed by the flames. When we're under pressure, our true selves come to light. Marcus got down to brass tacks that evening. The genuine article, declining to send text, not to elaborate, without delay, to depart nonetheless, going beyond the physical, on a personal level, in one's head, spiritually. He regained his true identity. Maybe you're in the same boat as the person watching this. Perhaps your soul is weary. You seem to be experiencing some mental load. This isn't love anymore, your spirit is murmuring. Take heed of that murmur. Simply said, suffering is not an indication of brokenness. Awakening is the meaning behind it. Returning to the source of your pain will not help you recover. To men, stand up firmly and quietly and say, peace is more important to me than recognition. Freedom is more important to me than the dread of being alone. Strength didn't just appear for Marcus. Bit by bit, he constructed it. Not only that, but you are the same. To begin, though, you must release. About the fantastic, with regard to the wrongdoing, relating to the lady who hoarded more than she shared. There is no pain in your heart. They are restoring it. You will eventually be grateful for this suffering. You found your way back to yourself because of that. Hear me out. There will be more. Ascend to new heights in the following chapter. Considering that Marcus is more than simply a book. You're him. He embodies every man who has ever felt worthless until suddenly realizing it. And now it's up to you. Chapter 4, The Realization. My question is this. At what point did you perceive that it was no longer love? Unfortunate event, not your average skirmish. However, a voice within me said, this isn't what I deserve. The moment didn't arrive with yelling or fireworks for Marcus. It was completely silent. As the sun dipped below the horizon one peaceful morning, she found herself shivering on the chilly side of the bed once again. Rest certain he remained composed. Nothing made him furious. Reliving every detail, he did nothing except sit there and stare at the wall. He suddenly realized unloved he was. His steadiness, generosity, and loyalty had made him a target. He had been penalized for desiring tranquility, inquiring about things, and being too kind to desist. Perhaps you have also experienced this. Have you ever pleaded for necessities? Strong feelings of affection, due regard, elapsed time, and been treated as if I were weak for desiring something that ought to have been inherent? When love becomes a matter of survival, it becomes a hazardous thing. When you start giving every text too much thought, timidly avoiding another emotional roller coaster, forgetting how to be happy since everything revolved around her. Who was that, Marcus? Perhaps if you're being really forthright, it has also been you. Here's something that is kept from you. The instant someone hurts you isn't necessarily the best time to realize it. It begins the minute you realize you've changed and can't recognize yourself in the mirror. Marcus was once a happy man, sure of herself, passionate. On the other hand, when you look in the mirror, he observed an individual who doubted his own judgment, someone who expressed regret for actions he did not do, a guy who shrank to make her feel larger. Moreover, what's worse, to him it felt like love. I want you to answer this question honestly, so here it is. Can you recall your identity prior to the pain of heartbreak, prior to the worry, prior to the excessive amount of contemplation, back when you were the one who would stay up all night trying to figure out why she was being so aloof and who would doubt his value? Whenever she did the same thing, toxic relationships don't simply cause us to lose love, you know. In doing so, we become unconscious. Marcus, but he began to recall details. Not immediately. Beginnings were modest. He finally wore the blouse she had previously told him she didn't like because, well, he felt great in it. On a separate occasion, he finally laughed at something after months of pretending. A long-lost acquaintance was contacted by him. Took a stroll. Rather than playing their music, he played his favorite tune. Gradually, over time, he returned. I beg you to pay close attention if you are still mired in anguish. If thoughts of her voice, laughter, or treachery keep popping into your head, also feel free to return. The pain is real and I know it. On those evenings when you can't shake the feeling that she may have loved you for what she thought she was, I totally get it. I understand how difficult it is to remove the images. Everywhere you go, thoughts of her resurface. How the stillness itself is piercing. This agony, though, the crushing weight of it all, this is only the beginning of your journey. You'll wake up at this point, because coming to terms with her isn't about despise. Retaliation is not the point. It boils down to facing reality head-on and making your own decision. Electing tranquility above mayhem, choosing healing above hope. Abolition of imagination. Perhaps that is the takeaway from this. Love remained with Marcus, some illusion he had lost, and when he realized its true nature, nothing ever returned to him. You won't either. Tonight I want you to question yourself. I mean it seriously. Consider her value to your sanity. Will you get any restless nights because of her? Does the future you, who is still pining for independence, value her memory more than that? You don't get a second chance at life, my friend. Spending it on someone who doesn't value you? Yes, it is not love. It's a recipe for disaster. The fact that you have persisted in viewing this, listening to this narrative, etc., something deep within you is awakening. Keep it in mind. Given that she will no longer be the focus of the upcoming chapter, the focus is on you, the guy you're becoming into, the power you're finding again. After you get through this difficult time, you will find a place of tranquility. And the moment it hits you that no longer will you pursue her, along with beginning to pursue your own happiness. Chapter 5. The Stoic Checklist, What to Watch For. The indicators need to be reviewed once again. Irregularities in any of these behaviors on your part holds you captive via shame. Instead of providing assistance, it competes, openly disregards your problems with demands. Keeping love from others, refuses to take responsibility, undercuts your goal, then you should just go. No need to raise your voice. Getting even isn't necessary. All you need is some clarity. If a person is unwilling to change, a Stoic guy will not remain to help them. With that, he continues, in a graceful manner, in a position of authority. Warm regards. Final message, the courage to leave. Quitting doesn't indicate weakness. It enlightens you. Rehab centers for shattered women do not exist. Nobody uses you as a scapegoat for their feelings. You are more than just a filler. Who are you? A builder, someone who safeguards, a thinker of philosophical bent. Also, guard your thoughts like a warrior guards his shield. Keep in mind, true love from a woman will offer serenity, not mayhem, assist, not undermine, joy, not suffering. You become invincible the second you prioritize self-respect above poisonous love. Now is the time to relax, observe your existence. Plus, inquire about the matter that Marcus ultimately contemplated. Is she strengthening my character or shattering it? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.